There's a touching love story told of two 22-year-olds. We even know their names, Jess Peak and Joe Matthews. It began 20 years ago in a nursery school and continued through kindergarten. At the age of 4, Matthews proposed to Peak, and they had a make-believe wedding. After kindergarten, these two British kids went to different schools and lost contact. And now, suddenly, after 14 years, they met on a social network and realized that they'd been waiting for this meeting all their lives. And they are just as happy together as they were back in kindergarten and nursery school. They're happily planning a wedding today. That's what the buzz is all about on social media.
I'm going to cry now.
Yes, they say this is indeed love.
What kind of love is this? They haven't been together.
Well, they didn't see each other, but they kept this longing for each other.
Well, this is true. Things that happen in childhood leave great impressions.
First, now they're getting married. Second, they say that most likely this wedding, this connection, will be a guarantee that they will have a long and happy life. What do you think about this conclusion? What does this mean?
Who was it that wrote, "Rarely do we marry at first love"?
Yes, I recall such words, but not sure who wrote it. Let's say we rarely marry our first loves. But if we do, is that a guarantee?
No.
You think no?
No. Usually we go through many, many mistakes, trials, meetings, divorces, separations, and then at an age closer to the end rather than the beginning.
Do we realize?
Maybe even meet someone.
Perhaps meet someone?
Yes, we meet someone and start appreciating.
We meet someone who...
Yes.
And then we value this connection.
Yes, of course. She is not the same little girl with pigtails anymore, nor is he the same boy. Their ideas of connection, closeness, relationships are totally different now. This is how it usually works.
In other words, you think until they go through hard times and their ups and downs together, we cannot say that they are...
No. Only out of destruction can one learn.
Wow.
Yes.
From destruction?
Indeed. That explains why a person who has never gone through ups and downs...
Ups and downs.
Yes. One is not able to appreciate things. He will not cherish a relationship.
So you're saying that you're in favor of a sense of destruction in a connection between people, as if everything falls apart?
Of course. It is crucial they experience such feelings also. So they would protect their relationship and not let it get to this.
But it will keep hanging over them, right?
By all means. How can it not? They are two egoists. Can they perform some kind of surgery on themselves? Can they cut out their egoism and turn into sweet little idiots?
It's not good, right?
It's impossible.
Yes, it's impossible.
We meet, learn our lessons, and come to desperation. Then we understand how to build a life when we strive only for good relations. We no longer need, as we used to in our youth, to be in bad relations, then in good ones, and so on. Now we need only good ones.
But it's the ups and downs we go through at a young age that lead us to this realization, right?
Of course.
Really?
Yes.
Without them?
Without them, there is nothing. One must accumulate an arsenal of various negative sensations, states, and only then can one avoid them.
That's interesting. You store weapons, fight, and then suddenly cast them aside.
This is how it will work for humanity.
Really?
Yes.
Meaning humankind is now accumulating various weapons, and then...
It will understand they need to be cast aside.
It's good we've come to this understanding. Therefore, now...
Yes.
All wars and other troubles happen. Is this the accumulation of weapons also happening for this reason?
Everything is only for this reason.
So we'll know later that we need to...
Of course. There can be no good without the recognition of evil. Not in private life, nor in the general world.
Here's the last question I have for you. What advice would you give if these people listened to you?
I don't know if they have accumulated enough suffering, expectations, or a desire to appreciate the other, to show every minute you love them, care for them, for who they are, and so on. In other words, they need to have qualities, impressions from life, which simply do not exist at a young age.
That is, should they accumulate these impressions throughout their lives?
Of course, yes. If there was such an injection to gain an instant understanding, to see things for what they are, we'd live happily. Instead, we get divorced, sometimes more than once. And only afterwards, possibly, can we create the right relationships.
I see. Still, I will ask you one last question aside from these youngsters. What is your advice to young guys and gals who enter a life together with the feeling that everything will be just fine? This is how they start their lives, thinking that they will live together forever.
They need to have very, very long, nagging conversations with each other.
Wow, really?
Yes. Spill out whatever each of them thinks, like two researchers. And gradually, little by little, they will be able to reach a state where they will mutually explore themselves and one another. Then life becomes interesting. It turns into a research. How can we make our relations better?
In order to be together, right?
Yes, to change it somehow, to get closer. What if we try to do this or that? Constantly trying to discover their qualities, feelings, and their relationship as vibrantly as possible.
How interesting.
I'll tell you, even if people do think about such things and realize them, it's only after about 50 or 60 years that's how it is. And before then...
Yes, it says, if only the youth... How does it go?
If youth but knew, if age but could.
It turns out to be a golden rule.
Yes.
Well, let's hope some things will change.
The time will come, and people will live this way. But we can teach them about it. This needs to be said. We can train these youngsters.
How to become researchers?
How to become researchers. We can, so to say, age them by teaching them.
They can gain
practical experience.
Even before they are together?
Yes, of course.
Prepare them for life.
Yes, and then they will see for themselves how to act one way or another.
So you say young people should come to their wedding and begin their life as old people?
Yes, on the inside, of course. Do you want them to discover who they really are through their own experience? No.
That is, they should already have some experience.
They must come with experience of communication, of psychological interaction.
And will it be a guarantee in their life?
This will give them confidence. They will be able to overcome all sorts of challenges of getting closer.
Which will be many.
And will turn these problems into greater contact.
I see. Thank you. Beautiful. We talked about a scientific laboratory.
Yes, indeed. The world needs it very much.